gonna make big batch biscuits tonight, whatever it is for you. I love my food processor. I use it for many things, and so I just want to talk about this a little bit. Today I'm going to use, this is called the dough blade, so almost like dull blade because it's just plastic. It's not the metal one that really is going to chop up stuff for salsa, pesto, whatever. I think this one works a little bit better when you're working it within flour. If you're still going to do big batch, I would recommend doing one batch at a time in the food processor. There's no way you're going to get more than 4 cups of flour in there. So we're going to do that, but you can probably end up doing 2 batches, dumping it, because we're going to have to mix in the liquid stuff separately. So this is just for the flour, the other dry ingredients, and then incorporating the ice cold butter. So I've got 4 cups of flour. As you know, it'll probably make a giant pillow of floury dust. There we go. And you know what, a lot of people get nervous about these because they think, you know, they're going to chop your hands off because it's plugged in. It will not run no matter what without a lid on it, so worry not. So we have 4 cups of flour in there. Then to that we're going to add 3 things that are equal, so it's kind of easier to remember. We want our sugar and salt always balanced, so we got a teaspoon of each, and then we have 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Then we have just a half a teaspoon of baking soda. We're just going to blend these up. I'm just going to use pulse, either one would work. That's all I need. We just need it incorporated. Now I'm going to add 2.5 sticks of butter. So it is from the fridge. I just cut it up into chunks. I tried my best to not touch it at all because the second you touch it, the second you bring it out into room temperature, forget it. It's already starting to lose its oompapa. So I'm just going to get those in there for just a little bit. Get my next batch in there. Oompapa is a universal word that means anything. I need it to at the moment. Okay, I want to again not touch them as much as I can. They're already starting to stick back together. Come on, guys. Separate. All right, now we want to blend it up and get it to kind of pea-sized portions. You can always just peek in there and check. I guarantee there's some ones that are way too big. So see, we're already too big. We need to keep going. And I'm already making a mess. Again, it has to be fully locked for it to even run. So you're never going to hurt yourself, I promise. I'm guessing that's pretty good. Feels good. All right, yeah. All right, so now we're gonna take this off. Follow me over here, please. All right, so the next thing we need to do is put this into a bowl. Everything's already incorporated in there as much as it can be from that. And now I'm gonna add in cold milk. So just like pie crust, you're always going to add very cold liquid. In this case, it's plain milk. Sometimes, I wonder if it would come out the same using buttermilk. I reckon it would. If you like that extra tang, absolutely. So I'm going to just barely incorporate this. Just kind of mix it around until it starts to form a ball or a dough of sorts. And again, if you've ever made pie crust, oh, it's so frustrating sometimes. If you over mix it, if you do it wrong, then they just don't turn out well. Part of it is people maybe mix too much. That's a big part. Next thing is maybe your milk wasn't cold enough, or again, you're touching things too much with your hands. That's another big one. Or you got your butter too small. Let's say that would be the other problems. So it's already kind of mostly coming together. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get in there. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to roll it out, and I'm gonna work with it thinking about croissants in mind, because not that these are gonna be croissants, but I want many, many layers of butter. So this is just one of my favorite things to use when I need to roll stuff out, because I've talked about, like, you know, you think your counter's clean, but I don't want it clean like from cleaning fluids, because I don't want any cleaning fluids on my food. So I love this thing. I can set it down. I know this is clean because I can put this in hot soapy water and wash it very easily. So I always use this. You might still need a good amount of flour. We're just gonna dust it. And again, it's gonna look very loose, and it's supposed to, just like pie dough. I keep saying that. You might have never made pie dough. You might be one of those folks that go to the grocery store and buy it. We're gonna have to make it together. That's what we're gonna have to do. Okay. What are you filming?
Reaction. It's filming you mixing it.
It looks like you're filming that. I'll be quiet. I love my cameraman.
Mm-hmm.
Handsome. Does everything I ask. Fabulous at it.
Go on.
I'm distracted. Okay, again, this is not a perfect dough, but it's enough for me to pick it up and plop it out. That's all I need. There's some stuff at the bottom. Let's put it on top. So we don't want to overmix. I'm not going to overroll. I'm not going to overmix. It's okay. The other thing I like doing with biscuits, I don't like them round. Call me a square. I am, but I like them square. I find that it's a lot easier. I don't know why. I like the straight angles. I'm more of a square person than a round person. So this is what we have so far. I want you to get a close up, Tommy Tom. Mmm, delicious butter. That's what we want. So I am gonna just slightly roll it out. And I know that's not incorporated yet. Don't worry. Don't worry, don't worry. It's completely supposed to do that. So now I kind of have it semi rolled out. I'm gonna try to fold it in thirds right now. Me. And it's not perfect. Don't worry. It will all come together. Show our fans, dear.
If you're hearing the grumbling, it's these two. It's him, Pilot specifically, because we haven't walked him yet. And you keep saying the word pie, talking about pie crust, and that's what we call them.
Well, it's also dinner time. Okay, again, I just kind of rough shaped it out. Now we kind of have a bit of a rectangle. Again, I want to do my best to not overwork, not overtouch. But I do want to keep flipping it. He is awfully grumbly. I know you folks can't hear him, but okay. And again, all the stuff on the side, I did add flour in the beginning. We'll get it back in there eventually. Worry not. If you don't want to add it back in, then don't. I want to encourage you, as always, to take whisks in the kitchen. Don't ever throw something out because you think it's not coming out right, because you can fix it. And that's why we trial and error and do our best to figure things out. So this summer, folks, I'm going back home to New Mexico. I'm gonna force my wonderful mother to be on my show. So you gotta let me know, what do you miss from the good old homestead? Is it a certain pie? Is it her famous cinnamon rolls? The more you're willing to flip and roll, the better and fluffier they come out. I'm often stingy with flour because I don't like biting into a baked good and tasting flour. So again, now it's kind of up to you if you want to do round, if you want to do square. All right, what do I have here, Tom? What do you think? 1/2 inch?
3/8.
Oh, look at you. So specific. He did work a construction job when he was a youngin'. All right, so again, this is where you're gonna decide if you wanna cut and you wanna make squares or if you wanna do rounds. I'm doing biscuits mostly for, we have Kentucky Derby coming up. I was thinking of doing some little sliders, so I was thinking smaller biscuits. And then Mother's Day is just around the corner. So I'm gonna be freezing all of my biscuits today. So I have a cookie sheet out with parchment. I'm gonna put them really close together, not touching but close together, and then I can put the whole thing in the freezer. Maybe an hour is all it'll take. And then they'll freeze individually, so I can put them all in a giant gallon Ziploc bag. So when I'm ready to use them for whatever occasion, I'm just pulling out the ones that I need. So if you're a perfectionist, feel free to cut off the corners, make it ultra, ultra straight. I feel like this line is kind of straight. And again, I love this thing because I can cut on it. You cannot, however, cut on a still pot. Ooh, did I learn that the wrong way? Not the wrong way, the hard way. So I'm kind of looking for just little sliders. And if you want them, you know, a little more perfect, squeeze them up. But a lot of these will be inhaled and no one's going to pay attention. So, and I tell you what, I can feel even when I'm cutting it that it's going through multiple layers. Can you get a close up or is it too blurry?
No, it's good.
So I don't know, I didn't count how many layers we had in there, but it was quite a few. So I'm gonna throw that back because we'll use them in a little bit. So I'm just gonna put this whole thing in the freezer. So count them out, depending on how big you make your biscuits. It's gonna make one big sheet tray. Freeze them, and it really would be easy to do for a big batch day. These would freeze in a freezer bag for, I would keep them for at least 3 months. I bet you get away with 6. And they're just so nice to just, again, like our waffles that we froze. Take them out morning of, put them directly in the oven, and you're gonna have fresh homemade biscuits with no preservatives, real butter, deliciousness. 15 minutes at maybe 400. I think that's what I would do. So that's it, fast and easy biscuits. I just pulled the biscuits out of the freezer. They are frozen enough. They're probably not solid all the way through, but they're good enough to not stick to each other. So I'm gonna put these in 2-quart bags and just have them for when I need them. Ooh, looks like a burrito. Rico suave.